Yeah, what's up? How is everybody doing out there in internet land? I am good. I am the one and only because nobody else wants the job, Arc Excala of the Kyber Cave. And I am starting on time just to say fuck you to say Wong. In fact, I am so on time and wanted to be on time that I don't even know where the hell the rest of the crew is. Nobody else like has showed up as of yet. So until somebody shows up, it is just you and me hanging out here on Yo TV or phone or computer or wherever the hell else you are watching. Yes, it is me. I am Ark in the flesh. What's up, Say Wong? What is up, Patrick? Cam Smith, thank you for tuning in. I am let's see, sorry. I'm trying to get doing double duty here, directing and hosting until somebody else gets in here with me. Um oh, I'm 1 minute late. 1 minute. Where's everybody else? How come you don't give anybody else crap? All right. So yeah. I want to thank everybody for coming out. We have an exciting month. For those of you that are getting ready to finish school here, whether it's high school or junior high or college, I want to say congratulations. You've worked very hard. You did it. You made it to the end of the path. um Kyber Cave, if you happen to be in the area tomorrow, we are going to be at Vacaville Pride from 10 I no, I'm sorry, it's going to be the Vacaville Pride celebration is from noon to 4 tomorrow, but we're setting up earlier because there's another event that's also happening. So you can Google it. I don't know exactly where it's at. My store manager keeps the brains. I want to say it's at Creekside Park, but I'm not 100% sure. So we will be there tomorrow during if you want to come out and get some sabers. And then after that, there is an event back in Benicia Park in July. I will let you know more of the details. I want to say it's July 27th weekend. Um, I knew Graveyard wasn't going to be showing up because he I think is getting ready to go on vacation, and then he needed to. Oh, nice. Wait, where did that Ripper Blade come from?
I won it, remember?
Oh, that's the one you won.
Yeah.
Nice. Sorry, I'm talking to my kid. Here, can you see this Ripper Blade? This is a Ripper Blade. My son won. Uh, if you do not know the work of, turn off that light real quick, see. If you do not know the work of Gary Ripper, you need to know his work. Beautiful blade there. Wah, wah. That's gorgeous, dude. All right, turn the light back up, please. I'm truly in the dock.
That's the saber you gave me too.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Gary Ripper. Gary is speaking of Gary Ripper. I know he is going to be here. I want to say it's not next weekend, the weekend after. I can look it up, but Lightspeed has Mezzo. Lightspeed has a tournament in Vegas. It is their large annual tournament that Ripper Blades and BYO, Build Your Own Sabers, will be at. For those that don't know, BYO is essentially V Ripper, the wife, and Ripper Blades is Gary Ripper, the husband. He makes the beautiful blades by hand. She sells the the LGT sabers. So they go together like peanut butter and jelly. So they will be at the event in Vegas for Andrews Park. Thank you. Are you hanging out with Steven right now? Yes, I believe we will be there from noon to 4. I remember 4 being the cutoff time. Actually, no, we're going to be there, like I said, at 10 because there was some other kind of event that was also happening there as well. So Make sure to check out Kyber Cave on Facebook, or to check out our .com page. I believe we have a calendar section on our .com page. So if you ever want to find out where to find us live, where to come out and hang out with us, or get some cool Kyber Cave sabers, or even find out about our cool KCP production merchandise. Yes, I wish I had something to show you guys. I wish I had pictures or anything to driving to get a very late dinner. What's up, Mez? Mez says she's getting a late dinner right now. I will be getting an even later dinner after we finish this. So yeah, let me think. Oh, yes, I was telling you, I wanted to let you know we have brand new merchandise for Kyber K Productions. For those of you that have hung out with us for the last 5 years or so, or know about the history of Kyber Cave, we've had Kyber Cave merchandise for a while. We've had shirts, we've had beanies for a long time, but this is the first time we now have Kyber Cave production merchandise. We have coffee cups, backpacks, t-shirts, phone cases, notebooks, and that can all be found at kcpmerch.com. That is kcpmerch.com. And you can get all things Kyber Cave production related. That's more related to the channel than it is the storefront itself. All righty. Well, I guess since we were talking about, God, I hope anybody else shows up. I hope it's not just me chattering back and forth. Let me see. I'm sorry. I'm just checking the boards real quick to see if anybody's saying anything. Okay, well, hopefully it's not just us tonight. This might be a shorter stream than usual. We have two topics tonight, just like always. Typically, we have one lighter, fun topic and one heavier topic. So let's start. Let's start where we're at. We were just talking about Pride celebration tomorrow, and this month is Pride Month. Woo! I don't know if there's like a special Pride dance. I'm not gay, obviously, but of course we support our friends. We at Kyber Cave are allies with the gay and lesbian, the LGBTQ queen community in general. And some of our best friends, some of our employees, some of the members here on this show. This is definitely topics that affect them. So I would like to know your thoughts on it. I was just watching earlier today on YouTube. Those that know me know that it's pretty much all I watch. I'm kind of addicted to YouTube. I don't really watch, like when the new Marvel show or the new, when the new Star Wars comes out, I'll throw those on. I always like watching those. But besides that, I pretty much live on YouTube. I enjoy what we do here. I think what we do is well, I don't know if I should say important. I definitely know we hit some niches and we cover some topics that I literally don't see done on any other channel. With Saber Rattle, that show has been running 2.5 years now. And when we started that show, it was it was during the pandemic. The reason we started our channel here is this channel started because of the pandemic. So if you look back, this channel started like 3 weeks into the pandemic, 2 or 3 weeks into the pandemic. We started the channel as a way to stay in touch and communicate with our customers while our doors were closed. And one of the ways we did that was by doing a weekly interview show called Saber Rattle, which actually started off on Friday night. So at this time, 3 years ago, you would have been watching Saber Rattle instead, or 2.5 years ago, you would have been watching Saber Rattle instead of Kyber Cave After Dark. Our show was on at 7 p.m. on Friday nights. And the reason we did that was when the doors of our store finally opened back up, we thought Friday night was a good night to broadcast. It was one of our slower nights, but we broadcast from the store. So my assistant at the time, my shop manager, Chris, he would be at one end of the store and I would be on the couch near the arcade at the other end of our store. We had our masks on. It was kind of funny, actually, when we first started. Gary Ripper was one of the co-hosts of the show. He would do an interview one week, and I would do the interview the next week. And it was funny because up until, I don't know, like show 20 or 30 or something, Gary had made a comment that the audience has never actually seen my face because we were constantly wearing masks. So that was it's kind of funny to look back at the history of that. But since Kyber Cave is opened, um, I've kind of always considered Kyber Cave the island of misfit toys. We would get a lot of people that came and hung out there that would hang out at the cave when they didn't feel comfortable hanging anywhere else. Um, I say did. The reason I keep saying did, we do have a storefront, but the way the store is now, it's no longer, it's not a very cool like hangout spot. When we had our second and our third location, which would have been the second was the mall, and the third location was downtown Fairfield. When we had Kyber Cave 2 and 3, those were meant to be places in a time when most businesses are wanting you to just buy your stuff and get the hell out. We were encouraging people just to hang out. If you were walking through the mall, you just needed a place to sit down. We had couches in there. You could come and you could watch, people practicing or fighting for battles. We had all kinds of saber classes going on. We had a saber exercise class, saber size going. We had saber fights for TSL. So we had full full armor saber fighting, as well as light armor saber fighting. And then we had the storefront and repair shop in there. So it was a very big, wide open space. But Kyber Cave has always been welcome, a place for people who don't feel comfortable anywhere else. And that could be whether, maybe some places aren't opening and accepting to them. And that could be because of things like pride, or maybe you dress differently, or maybe you like to walk around with cat ears on and a tail hanging out. Or we had a high percentage of people who deal with autism. We have a high percentage of people who are just uber nerds and they like to flaunt their stuff. So we have always been very open and accepting to all types of people at the Kyber Cave. I really don't think who you want to love has any bearing on the community that we have, the Saber community that we have, or even the cosplay community, especially. I saw we have a young gentleman. I won't point out I won't name any names because he's actually I won't name any names, but it's somebody that I know because he comes to a lot of our events. And he's just somebody that I've known since Kyber Cave has been opened. But he was making comments. About gays, about being around gays. He's a very religious person. And I was like, for somebody who purports to love the cosplay community, there's a whole lot of gay folk in the cosplay community. So, you kind of need to know where you're at, homie. You can't despise the gays or not want them around your family. And then put out messages about how much you love cosplayers and you can't wait for this con or that con or what have you. It's like, yeah, there's some incongruities there. So, Pride Month, I will let you know that even though I am very hey, What's going on, Daddy-O?
Ta-da!
Ta-da! You're all blue in the background there.
I totally am.
How you doing today, my friend?
Oh man, it's been excruciatingly busy. Very, 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 very busy.
Wow. What's going on? Is good busy good or busy bad?
Hey Cam. Um I got some I went to the doctor early this morning, but I mean I posted in the chat about this. You all know what's going on.
Right.
So nothing terrible, just a long, long road ahead. But work to be done, and we'll get this thing situated and figured out.
Right.
So
Cam says really quick. There's a lot of there is a lot in the cosplay community as well as the theater community. So I was just talking about I was just talking about the history of Kyber Cave, and how I've always considered Kyber Cave to be kind of the island of misfit toys. It's where you came when you didn't really feel comfortable in other places. And we demonstrated that when we had our mall location and our downtown location. Whereas, a lot of stores would be like, get your product, get in and get the hell out. We had couches that were there. So if you just needed to get a place to get away from the rest of the world for an hour or two, you could come. We had a free arcade at the Kyber Cave. You could come and just hang out with us for a while. Or we also had the free mat if you needed to exercise and vent your energy that way. You can saber fight with with somebody else that was there at the place. So Kyber Cave has always been a home that has welcomed people of it doesn't matter what sexual orientation, it doesn't matter your ethnicity, it doesn't matter if you got a damn turtle shell on your back. We have always welcomed people of all different types.
oh, absolutely. I mean, hell, you welcomed me, so that says a lot.
Well, you're pretty easy to welcome there. Now, how is it in, like, say, Florida? I feel like Florida has got to be a very kind of like torn, controversial state. On the one hand, you've got Florida. I mean, you've got Disney, and they're as some may say, they're over wokeness, right? And then you've got DeSantos and his decidedly under wokeness. How is it as a regular citizen in Florida?
Tolerances in Florida vary upon where you live. Many people have stated that Florida is a notably purple state because you have a lot of folks who are left and a lot of folks who are right and a lot of folks who are just done. Typically in a state like this, the end game is quite literally the end game. It's a joke, but it's not a joke. Florida is where you go to die.
Wow.
It is still one of the number one places to retire in America. And people of all types of beliefs, skin color, origins, everybody who has their own individual story, they all come here. So some people embrace Pride Month, others do not embrace Pride Month, and others just want to exist and be left alone. So, and yes, I'm looking this way because that's where the monitor is. I have stuff in front of me and then I have other stuff over here. So you guys are over here.
Yeah, Florida seems, well, first off, when you look at the map, it tends to be the bluer states tend to be the water states or near the water anyways. And I'm guessing that has to do with the number of immigrants that the bluer states tend to get that come directly into those states. California obviously is in a very similar situation. I would guess with Florida that you have a very high but very separate, like you were talking about all the old people in Florida, but somebody's got to take care of them, right? So I also feel like it's probably like a lot of the younger and more open-minded culture that is taking care or part of the service industry in Florida, taking care of those older people, which is why you probably have such the two different groups like that.
So the younger crowd, the younger generation, or those who just want to be in Florida because they love it.
Right.
Yeah, the work is there. But typically those who come to Florida and retire, they have money. You know, you money comes to Florida, and money is not made in Florida. So, but I mean, you know, you
Interesting.
guys being in California, I mean, you have some pretty hot vacation spots there as well. I mean, you've got Disneyland, you got a bunch of places that folks, you know, they want to be kind of be the tourist.
Right. Well,
So,
even when you were out here, I was pointing out, where we were at in Fairfield. I think I told you we could go 3 hours east and go skiing, or we could go 2 hours west and go to the beach.
yes.
We could go 2 hours north and go hiking, or we can go 6 hours south and go to LA.
Mhm.
I mean, it's truly, a lot of people don't realize how big California is, and how diverse it is. But you can literally drive for over 12 hours at speed limit and be in the same state.
Yeah, kind of like Georgia.
Does
Kind of like Georgia.
it feel that way going through Georgia?
It totally does.
You should try driving through like Texas or like New Mexico. Holy crap, talk about barren.
You never know.
Cam says there are no hot vacation spots in Idaho. There's nothing in Idaho. Nothing pops out at me. Now that I think about it. I have a student getting ready to move to Idaho, and I was like, I have no fun or interesting things to talk to you about that.
But it's concerning Idaho?
Right. What do you know about Idaho?
Not a
What's up,
damn
Thomas?
thing. Thomas, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, you know what? I want to know. I'm going to ask Thomas directly, and then we'll get back to the topic, because this has actually been a conversation that's come up between me and a couple of other people. Like, I've been very interested to know how Thomas connected with this crew, because I'm not sure if Thomas was a friend of any particular host and started watching the show, or if Thomas just found us by accident, or if I don't think Thomas came through us through Kyber Cave.
Man, Thomas can't get enough of those Force FX sound fonts. That's what Thomas has like 17 sabers in his collection, and he's like, damn, when's Force gonna put a new freaking font out, because this is killing me.
Ow!
No.
So is Thomas someone you've known for a while?
No, actually, you know,
But I noticed Thomas shows up on almost all of our shows.
So he's a friend of Jen.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the first time I started talking with Thomas was
Discord.
when we were it was myself and Mrs. Fours and Graveyard and Phil from Distance Learning playing Callisto Protocol on the Kyber Cave Gaming Thursday nights, which you should all be watching.
Yes.
Yeah. He started watching us then, and he's actually been a very devoted watcher ever since. So Thomas, I love you, man. Keep with it. Keep with us.
Thomas is one of our, yes, we appreciate you, Thomas. Not that we don't appreciate everybody, Cam, we love you. But Thomas is a name that I see pop up on almost all the different games, and then pops up on this show in Saber Rattle. So Thomas, do me a favor, if you have if you are connected on Facebook Messenger, why don't you message the Kyber Cave and tell Steven I said to send you a free t-shirt. You deserve at least that. let him know what t-shirt size you wear, and we'll get a t-shirt mailed out to you. All right, so back to our conversation at hand, Pride Month. Do you have any feelings about it, my friend Forrest?
I do, and there's something there actually is something that, and it's nuts. I feel like such a hypocrite because here I am, the straight white married guy, on the subject of Pride Month. But one of the things I do want to mention is that one of the first things that we did when I visited you guys in California is that we went over to Lodi, and
No,
we got to
we
see.
went to track down a chili dog for you because
Yes,
that was like your
yes,
big obsession the first 2 days.
yes, the freak we did. No, but we went over to Lodi, and we got to see our very own Anthony's final drag show that he was putting on with all of his friends. Um, and it was actually my very first experience seeing that, because over here in this state, I'm sure there are plenty, but they're not advertised very well. You don't really find out about them. So yeah,
It's
me
more like you
personally,
got to be in the know to know.
you got to be in the in. But I mean, being friends with Anthony for so long now, I mean, ever since the very first time I came on the show, and having connected with him, and becoming friends, and he's just like one of the coolest dudes I know. How could, I mean, if I was going to be coming out there, how could I not, show up and support what it is he and his friends do? And it really, like, blew me away just how into uh their acts they were, like the
The performance.
costumes that all the performers were wearing. Anthony and Eli did absolutely outstanding with their costumes, and the songs that everybody chose were awesome, and a lot of the performers' athletic ability was insane.
Right. I
um
remember. I remember. Anthony asked me what was your favorite part of the show after, and I can't remember the name of the performer, but she did a
a
backflip in high
backflip
heel
it into a split
on a concrete floor.
on a concrete freaking floor. Now that's some serious talent and some serious stuff, to be able to do that. But and then after Mezzo and Steven got freaking an amaretto sour and a couple sips of Long Island in me, I remember getting the microphone and telling Anthony and everybody how much I appreciated the good, warm, welcome feelings. And it was just an overall fantastic experience.
Right.
Just being there, uh and in retrospect, you don't have to be gay to just go out and support your friends. You don't have to follow any one particular type of belief to just love people for who they are. I mean, a lot of effort was put into that show. A lot of practice was put into
Rehearsal.
that show. A lot of people, a lot of people. I'm sure there was just more than just the performers who worked on their costumes. I mean, there's money, and there's
Right.
time, and there's stuff that goes into what it was they were doing.
And
um
also there was I think you have to acknowledge the bar itself. First off, I want to say, what's up, David? We miss
eh,
you, bro.
Hey, hey, hey.
It's so
so
good to have you here.
so
But
it was, I mean, dude, it was crazy. It was just crazy. But I would definitely say good times were had by all. You could definitely feel it at the end when everybody kind of had to say goodbye to the location and to the show that they were doing. Like, I haven't been there. That was like the very first one I've ever seen in my whole life.
right.
And at the very end, like, I felt real sad because everybody was. It was like my daughter's dance recital. At the very end, all the girls like had put on this spectacular show, and then they weren't happy, they weren't joyous, they weren't flipping around. I mean, they were like boohoo crying, literally holding on to each other, like their emotional high just kind of went boom. You know what I mean? And it was almost the same thing at the end of the show, in Lodi. Like, everybody had just given so much, and there was probably a lot of adrenaline built up, and then the realization hit them, like, oh my gosh, this is the last show, and like everybody got pretty emotional. And but again, it was really cool to be there and just be there as a group, as Kyber Cave, be there as Anthony's friend, and Eli's friend, and just kind of support, be there, show appreciation for what they do and their contributions, and how much work and time and effort
Right.
that went into everything. Like it was a phenomenal show. It was a phenomenal performance by each of the performers. It was really, really cool. So I was very impressed by that. And that 10-minute rant actually leads into what I was going to bring up. You asked me what my feelings were about it.
I said all of that to say this.
Yeah, I said all of that to say this. So again, as the white straight guy, I can't help but notice, and this is something that I caught yesterday. I want to know what you guys feel about the corporate entity who utilize not just Pride Month, but many other holidays and festivities to change their logos and promote themselves and say, okay, well, we as this corporate entity are decorating our logo with many different colors to say that we endorse this and come buy our stuff. What are your feelings about that?
It's a cash grab. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
It's a cash grab. They're doing it to I forget the name of the thing, but there's some kind of corporate function where you get better scores for certain types of inclusivity and stuff like that. These same companies and a lot of these other entities, you won't see them doing that in other places of the world. You won't see that in China with their companies there. You won't see that in the Middle East with their companies there. They only do it here for the check marks and the attaboys and gold stars.
But do you think that also because of the more the different culture here? I mean, maybe that's just would not be tolerable in Saudi Arabia, obviously. Your couple is hella funky. Maybe in some other countries that just wouldn't be, tolerable at all because homosexuality is not, permitted. It's a very tough one for me, especially being a business. I remember 2 years ago, my partner, when I say partner, I mean business partner, not like sexual partner. My business
we heard
partner,
about you. Still in the closet. Okay, gotcha.
He had put up like a Kyber Cave, like he had made like a Kyber Cave kind of pride logo. And I remember getting absolutely slammed by people like saying that, this is, this is just fake. This is just another company that's trying to, take advantage of the struggles of gay people and stuff like that. Then it was actually kind of cool because we actually had some defenders who hung out at Kyber Cave and know who we are. And they were like, oh, no, these guys are actually legit. You know what I mean? They actually support the community. But it's a tough position for me, not because it's so funny. It's not because I'm worried about the comments from the straight people or the people that may be completely against it. It's more like I'm worried about the comments from the gay people that are offended that we are, who may not necessarily know our stance. We have, gay people on our staff. We have gay people on the show. So it is a very weird and tough one for me. I see that, like, I just watched this video earlier today about Target and how some, like, very ultra right wingers were coming in and they were, destroying Target, advertising, and talking about pushing this gay agenda or whatever. And I was thinking, man, that's got to be tough for a big corporation to know what side to be on. You know what I mean?
Why do they have to be on any side? Why can't they just sell their fucking products?
I have to agree with Dave on this one because at the end of the day, I believe corporations only believe in one color, and that is green.
Right, but if they can make money from the gay community, okay. So if I could sell to this certain community, why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't they have merchandise?
Weren't they buying that? Wasn't that community already buying things there?
Let me put this into perspective for you because this is actually quite interesting, Van. If I were in your store, right? If Steven had to be out and I were visiting and you were like, "Hey, Forrest, can you run the store?" And then five 5 different people came in. The first one was black, right? And he says, I'm a Star Wars fan. Can I buy this saber? Yes. Next person comes in and they are a shorter person, like 3'4", and they're like, hey dude, I love Star Wars. Can I buy this? Yes. And then a drag queen walks in, right? A friend of Anthony's. Hi, I love Star Wars. Can I buy this? Yes. You see where I'm going here?
Mm.
Come on in. Customers are customers. They are people with their own lives and their own beliefs and their own way of doing what they do. It does not matter who you are, what your skin color is, what your sexual preference is, how you're dressed. It does not matter. You're coming in because you love Star Wars. You heard of Kyber Cave. You want to buy a saber. Come in and buy a saber because you're a customer, a human effing being. It's really just that simple. So
Right.
I don't honestly believe it's a matter of taking sides or whatever. I mean, if someone were to come in, who was gay and asked you straight out, hey Van, I'm a gay person, and do you support me? Your immediate response to that should be, welcome to Kyber Cave. Thank you for being here. What can I interest you in?
Right.
And well, what's your stance on it? My stance is, I'm happy that you chose our store today. Thank you for being here. What can I
Right.
assist you with? I see that
Right.
you're not only have you told me that you're gay. I see that you're a Star Wars fan. Hey, you know what? So am I. Can I interest you in this saber? Can we talk about that? Imagine how quick things will turn around and change. And you want to know why Anthony and I are really good friends? Because we have common interest and we have very, very similar childhoods. Like, we were into a lot of the same stuff. We dealt with a lot of the same school issues. The only difference between him and me is that he was gay and I was not. But we still hung around the same crowd. We still had the same type of friends. And by God, right now, we are still into a lot of the same stuff. This cat is one of the coolest people I've ever met.
Hell
It's
yeah.
just, I am married to a female. He's married to a male, and nobody cares. I
Right.
love him because he's a badass dude and he accepts me for who I am, and I accept him for who he is. We may have
Right.
different beliefs, but that shit doesn't matter because he's a badass dude and I love him to death and I'll do anything for him. That's
Right.
just that's as simple as it gets.
Love
Very,
it.
very
Um,
simple.
I want to go back really quick. First off, what's up, Aubrey?
Hey,
I
Mrs.
want to go
Ford.
back
We're
really
doing with
quick
mine,
and
Aubrey in the house.
highlight some of the comments that Cam has made. Cam said, "Oops, all of the Pride stuff here in Idaho isn't advertised at all well, so I have to go hunt for it. Pride isn't just for those of us that are part of the LGBTQ plus community. We love seeing people who support the community there too. And Pride isn't just a month-long thing, it's an every day of the year thing. Right. So yeah, it would be interesting. Well, okay, it seems to me, Cam says, when we were talking about, corporations doing it, Cam says it's just a money cash grab. So I feel like that lets us know a little bit about Cam's mission on how Cam feels seeing these different things up. Is it not an opportunity for you as a gay person to feel like maybe you have more choices of products? Like feature, I know Target was featuring certain known artists in their community and putting out t-shirts and clothing lines by some of the people in the community, the LGBTQ plus community. And that was part of their way of getting more of those artists into the mainstream. Thoughts? What
Surprise
do you think,
lightsaber.
Aubrey?
What?
What are your thoughts, Aubrey? Do you think corporations at all should be supporting movements in either direction? That would also be saying like, does that mean that corporations shouldn't put up Christmas decorations when it's holiday time?
That seems like a very loaded question.
I guess it could be.
Well,
It can
We're
be.
talking about how
Van
people
likes to get loaded. So
boom boom.
your
Uh,
microphone is way up, Aubrey.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a little bit hot.
Okay. Is that better? Actually, let me check my.
Just breathe into it.
By the way, Dave, I want to say how good it is to have you back, man. We miss you, bro.
Oh, let's go to next. It's fun.
Well, either that or somebody's speaker is up, and that is causing it to put the feedback in there. That's why it sounds loud.
Not sure. I know it's a little. I pulled my volume down a little bit.
Because I turned both my computer down and this down.
So what do you guys think? I mean, like, for example, Kyber Cave tomorrow is going to be at the Pride Parade in Vacaville. We are going to have a little tent there. We're going to be selling sabers. Sabers are for everybody. Is that a bad thing? Should I not be there? Is that somehow hypocritical because I'm not a gay person to be at a Pride event?
Not at all. We have somebody in our crew who literally is a drag queen, and you support him. We support him equally. Yep. You're going out there. You're going to be part of a celebration, and you're going to be selling sabers. Why? Because you respect your friend, and you respect not just as you, but as your business, what it is they stand for and what it is they do. Yep. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to be so simplistic about a lot of these things, because I don't try to be ignorant of people's feelings. But at the same time, I come from a spot where what's wrong with being respectful? There's nothing wrong with being respectful. Being respectful is showing people that you give a damn. Right. And it's okay to give a damn about things and people and what they believe in. Kyber Cave being at the Pride event, there's nothing wrong with that. You're heading out as a business entity to sell some sabers to some folks who are going to be into what it is you got.
I agree.
And then by being there and having a friend, all of our friend, you're supporting what he does personally and with your business.
And what they do with those sabers is none of your business. Oh, sorry. I
think the only time when it is an issue for a corporation to support a social movement is if they had previously been completely against it until it became cool or whatever, and then they jump on that bandwagon because it seems very hypocritical. It's the only time that I think that's a problem. Otherwise, no, I have no problem with that.
Or how about if they go and do something like alienate the majority of their customer base? Bud Light, for instance, went pretty far with that.
Am I upset at them for doing what I don't know what they did that was so offensive, but okay. I don't. I mean, as long as they aren't. I don't know. Maybe it's actually, you know what? Maybe it's actually good that they got on a better side. Maybe it's the majority that's in the wrong for that.
Let's talk about that a little bit, David. Why don't you explain that out for some people that may not have heard about that whole controversy? I kind of heard of it, but I didn't get really too in depth because neither of the topics affected me directly, as I'm not a drinker of Bud Light.
So, if anybody's familiar with Dylan Mulvaney, gay man turned trans, Bud Light decided to commemorate him on his 300th day as a little girl by putting his face on a can of Bud Light, which,
as a little girl.
Well, he identifies as a trans girl.
Then
He's
it's
a little girl.
It's a trans woman. She's not identified as a girl. She identifies as a woman, but okay.
Well, no, this is where I want to clarify.
Actually, no, he identifies as a girl. not a woman, girl.
Is that
I
where
love
the
how
problem?
people like to interchangeably use this until it doesn't fit their narrative. So no, she is still a woman because she's an adult woman. And we tend to use girls and women interchangeably, and men do it all the time too to women. Call us
But
girls.
David, that's not what David
women.
is saying. David is saying he or she
And I said
identifies
she.
as, not people label her as, but she identifies as, which I think is kind of a little bit weird. But okay. Keep going, Dave.
All right, so then their new Budweiser's newest CEO or whatever also made a rant about how they need to be more inclusive, which, whatever. But she says part of the problem is they want to get away from the whole selling to frat guys type of thing, and it ruined their business. I mean, most of the people who drank Bud Light up until that point were partying guys, mostly. I'm just saying that, all of a sudden the Anheuser-Busch wanted to jump on this bandwagon with the whole, hey, look at us, we're going on this too, and they wrecked themselves in the process.
Has it literally affected their business now? Like, are profits down now because of this?
Hugely. Nobody is buying Bud Light. It's
Wow.
gone into a full point. All of a sudden, like, nobody wanted Bud Light.
Do you guys think it's better
what I mean, what it is that it seems like it got crammed right in people's faces. This is us now. You must respect this. And we're like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm just gonna get Coors.
Right. I mean, people have those options. Do you think then? And then I want to go to a point because Aubrey made a point that I had a counter to that I wanted to ask Aubrey about. Do you think it's better than should corporations just completely keep their mouths shut about all social topics? I mean, we saw what happened to Pepsi. Do you remember when the BLM movement was going on and Pepsi had like Kyle, whatever her name is, one of the Kardashians.
Kylie Jenner. Mm-hmm.
Right. She did that whole Pepsi, give a cop a Pepsi commercial, and that completely blew up in their face. We also had Nike. Do you remember when Nike supported Kaepernick and people were burning, 49 or Kaepernick jerseys, and getting rid of their shoes, which, only makes Nike more money.
Would people be stooping? Yeah.
Do you think corporations should just completely keep their mouths shut when it comes to social issues? Anyone? Bueller?
Yeah, I think they should.
Okay.
They have a product to sell, or they have if they have a certain customer base, maybe not alienate them, but if I just think that the whole all of a sudden, hey, let's everybody put on a flag, and it's one thing.
Why is that hurting you? It's not hurting you.
No, it's not hurting me, but I'm okay. It's getting to the point where this topic has been the biggest thing in the world for a marginalized group, or like they self-proclaim marginalization. They have Pride Month. They have Trans Day of Visibility. I have a whole list, by the way. I wish I had still had it.
So why is it a problem? I mean, men generally get,
Can we have straight white man day? Or
I don't know. You get that 365 days a year. I think that's fine.
I don't celebrate it. I don't ask you to. I don't ask you to celebrate it.
For you.
I don't ask you to I don't ask you to celebrate it or get mad at you if you don't.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think
I don't know about that because men are afraid of women laughing at them. Women are afraid of being killed by men. So there's a little difference there. So I really don't think I'm having a great day for this. I'm having a migraine. I think I need to get going. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I don't think I have the mental fortitude today for this.
Are you mad at me?
Yeah, a little. I'm a little mad.
What?
So,
Why? I'm not bashing anybody. That's why I said anything I say right now is going to sound bigoted. That's why I'm trying to tone
well, it
it
is
back. I
bigoted.
really am.
It does sound bigoted.
Well,
But
I don't
it's
mean it to be. I don't
yeah,
mean
and
it to be.
But I
Aubrey,
also have a migraine, so my mental fortitude is not probably in the best position right now to
I would
talk.
really I would really like to hear your input on this. Please don't go.
yeah, and Aubrey, remember too where we're at. That was actually that's why we love this channel, is because we can talk about things differently and still at the end of the day be friends and
Well,
respect each other's.
I'm not probably in this place to right now to have the discussion. I don't think because I am having a migraine, and so I'm less likely to be filtered. So it's
You don't need
not.
to be
It has nothing
filtered.
to do about you guys.
Well,
It's just I don't feel. I don't think I'm up to talking today. Sorry. It's not you guys. I'm totally just not feeling well, and so I'm more crabby than usual.
Say Wong is a comment here. I should point out how many people were offended when Tim Tebow broadcast to the entire world that he was a Christian during his Heisman Trophy run.
Hmm.
Yeah, I definitely think a lot of times there are double standards around a lot of different topics. Actually, one of the topics I was going to put out tonight, I was like, hey, this might be a little bit too charged right now. Was had to do with can white people be racist, or can black people be racist? I kind of wanted to leave that one alone for right now, and then we can talk about that.
I feel responsible actually for bringing up the question concerning the corporate entity, because
No, it's not your fault. I'm also just having a migraine, so I'm more snippy
That's
right
all right,
now.
honey. I'm
Has nothing to do with you guys. I'm sorry, David. I didn't mean to snipe at you. I'm just not feeling so.
so it's okay. I probably deserved it.
let me put it to you this way.
No.
And this is just something that kind of rubs me the wrong way. And again, I'm not going to sit here and claim that I know personally the intentions of any president or vice president of any corporation, but I will say publicly that it does annoy me to have the knowledge that there are certain corporations who will paint their logo the colors of the rainbow to just do no more than to push their product.
Yes,
Like-
that is
like,
aggravating.
It is not to me, it is not right. It is not morally right to claim that your entity supports the beliefs of any group of folks in order to solely increase your sales. I don't think that's right at all. I seriously don't. And it bothers me to no end to know that there are corporations, and I'm not saying big corporations. I'm not talking Walmart. I'm not talking a video game designing studio. I'm talking anybody who can literally, no ma'am, Harper, who can be at their desk in a meeting and look and see that it's June and say, all right, PR team, it's Pride Month. Go ahead and paint our logo rainbow and let everybody know that they can come buy from us because this is the month. No, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's not how this works. Period.
This is a very interesting topic for me, especially because, like I said, coming from a business point of view, I've been slammed on both sides of the argument.
Of course, because there are folks with varying degrees of and again, you got to forgive my vocabulary because it's late here. With varying degrees of intensity in their belief systems. You get folks who are very easily triggered or offended because they don't like what they hear about another person's beliefs. And then you get those who are like, whatever. You know what I mean? So
Right.
again, it's there's so much gray and so little black and white.
Yeah, I honestly,
There
and maybe
are so much gray. There is so much
Absolutely,
maybe
there's
this
so much
makes me the dick or the asshole or whatever, but I honestly, from a business point of view, I don't see it any different than putting up a Christmas tree at Christmas time or putting up Halloween decorations at Halloween time.
I'm
Well,
so
the
very
problem
glad.
is if they start putting Christmas gear up in when it's September, that's when I draw the line.
Don't go to
I
Hallmark.
But don't
I'm
get me
so
started about Chick-fil-A, say Wong.
I'm so very
Oh,
glad you
that's
said
I
that.
actually want to talk about Chick-fil-A.
I'm so very glad you said that, Van, because I'm going to paint you again. I'm Fours the simple. So I'm going to paint you a simple picture here. Shake your head, hon. You know it's true.
No, I'm not. I'm not feeling well.
I know, sweetie. I'm so
seriously
sorry.
not. Like I'm just
Um,
my migraine's
so
really getting to me.
again, keeping this dumbed down and simple for me. We spend our money one of two ways. We spend our money because we need something, or we spend our money because we want something. And when we want something, we're going to take joy in it. We're going to take pride in it. We're going to enjoy it. We're going to be happy with it. And more entertainment and more things that make us happy sells more than what we need. 9 times out of 10, you're going to, even during coronavirus, people still forked out the cash to purchase things that they wanted to enjoy themselves with, as opposed to purchasing what they needed. Does that make
I
sense?
own a lightsaber company. Believe me, I know.
Yes, correct. So the point I'm trying to make here is that when we're out spending money on things that we want, it is because we take joy in it. So it doesn't matter if it's Christmas, Halloween, something, another religious holiday, a patriotic holiday, to celebrate Black History Month, to celebrate. It doesn't matter what we're celebrating. The simple fact of the matter is we are celebrating, and we are finding the joy, finding the happiness, and spending money to bring something in that brings us joy, happiness, contentment, satisfaction. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
It should not matter who we're selling it to or what the product is. All we know, all that matters is that people are buying from corporate entities for self-satisfaction. So it should not matter who they're selling to.
Yeah.
So to close that gap and claim that a whole corporate entity believes in one thing, every single member, and they're going to paint their logo all the colors of the rainbow, making the bold claim that yes, they all 100% support it, when in fact they really don't, because it's a cash grab, is morally wrong. I'm sorry, it's morally wrong. Cash grabbing for not just for Pride Month, but for Black History Month, for Christmas, for Halloween, for for whatever.
Right.
It's not right. That's why I keep saying respect. Just be respectful. If people want to celebrate Pride, let them celebrate it. If people want to celebrate, if for being ethnically who they are, let them celebrate it. People want to celebrate the damn birthday, let them celebrate it. Let people just be joyful and let them have their contentment and find their happiness. Because I'll tell you something, if they're happy and they're celebrating with others who are happy for them, they're not going to cause any damn harm.
Yes.
People will not
unless
hurt
it's a football game.
People will not hurt each other and bring each other down and treat each other like shit if they're happy. So be happy for them and celebrate with them. Dude, I'm happy you're going out to be a part of the Pride event and sell sabers to folks out there who are, guess what? Star Wars fans.
Yep.
That's a great thing. And no, it's not a cash grab on Van's part, ladies and gentlemen. He's going out there because Anthony's there and Anthony believes in something, and Van shares the same belief. Kyber Cave shares the same belief.
My store manager.
The store manager has the same belief. And guess what? Every single person I just mentioned there takes pride and joy and has happiness in what they're doing and with each other. That's why we're the Isle of Misfit freaking Toys, because guess what? Every person on this screen may have a very different belief, but I love everybody here all the fucking same.
I love you guys.
This is why he's the better half.
So I want to ask each of you individually, because I feel like this has been interesting to see like kind of your stances. But Chick-fil-A has been a topic. Say Wong mentioned it. Aubrey mentioned it. We call it hate chicken in our house. But
Yeah,
one
it's hate
of the
chicken.
things that caught me off guard, David was saying that the corporation should not alienate their core base, right? I have been told that Chick-fil-A has recently hired a diversity and inclusion CEO. Like they brought in a whole new person to, combat this image
Mhm.
that they've had, for a long time. Is that a wrong thing?
I can personally attest
Mhm.
to my Chick-fil-A, which is 7 miles that way. In my blue screen, 7 miles that way. Every time you go through the drive-through, there are 2 guys there who one of them I know is trans and the other one is gay. And guess what?
Right.
I
That's
don't
awesome.
care.
Right.
It's fine. They're there to
Yeah,
make
you
they're there
shouldn't.
to sell chicken and get paid so they can pay their freaking bills. And you know what? They love what they do. They're upbeat and they're peppy and they're having fun out there doing the outside orders and they're visiting with each other and they're making jokes with the drivers going through the drive-through and they're having a good time and a good day. Why steal anything from them? What they do? Nothing. Let them have
Right.
fun. I'm
Mhm.
glad they did that. I'm glad they got inclusive with that. At least
Me
for
too.
my local branch. Makes my
Right.
daughter happy. It makes my wife happy. It makes my wife's friends who go and buy stuff there happy because they always have a great experience there. It's always friendly. They don't care who or where anybody comes from. They just go. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be Fours the love everybody guy tonight, but I mean a lot of this to me and the way I
I
was
think you go with your bad self.
Right.
I just there's just no reason to hate unless you come to my house and kill my dog. Yeah, try. There's no reason for me to hate you. There
Yeah.
just
Little John
isn't.
Wick on your ass. David, what are your thoughts, David?
Honestly,
Not even
my
my thoughts,
opinion
personally.
is I don't give a shit one way or another. If I'm going to Chick-fil-A, it's because I'm hungry. I don't care if they have an extra inclusivity chairperson or whatever. That's fine. If that makes them happy, whatever. Um,
Would you
if
would you eat at Chick-fil-A if they had a coloreds only section?
like I said, if I'm going to Chick-fil-A, it's because I'm hungry. Colors only. What the fuck is that? What do you mean?
I'm saying if a company was openly for a particular stance, does that make a difference in your influencing? We've talked about before on this channel, like R. Kelly, right? Like, does R. Kelly, the things that R. Kelly has done, does that overshadow the music that he's put out? Would you still buy an R. Kelly album knowing, what he's done in his personal life?
Who's R. Kelly?
Oh, that's
No,
probably a bad example. I believe I can
absolutely not.
fly. He's the one that sang the Space Jam song. I believe I can touch. He's done, a ton of other songs too. But the point of the matter, I mean, Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson had, allegations of being inappropriate
Which
with
he was
children.
acquitted from of
That's
all
why I said
13 counts.
allegations. Um,
And it is absolutely positively like R. Kelly was convicted.
Right, I was trying to think of a different big example that David might know about if he doesn't know R. Kelly.
Hey guys,
Um,
I'm so sorry. I'm really not feeling very well. I think I'm gonna hop off. I'm sorry. That has nothing to do with me being snippy or anything. I'm starting to feel more and more crappy and
I'm
energy.
sorry.
It's okay. It's not your fault. It's totally just migraines suck. It gets really debilitating, and the meds haven't kicked in yet.
Right.
So I'm so
Okay.
sorry. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. I'm so
We
sorry.
we were getting ready to talk about killing zombies, but if that's how you
I
feel about it.
know. I'll try to stick it for a few more minutes. I'm just trying to stick it in, and I'm just feeling myself going more and more down.
Yeah, well, if
So
you're
if
not
you guys
feeling well,
can.
then definitely take care of yourself.
It's not you, David. I just don't feel good. I haven't felt good all day. I haven't felt good since yesterday.
Yeah, That's what polite people always say. It's not you,
No, it's not you, Dave. No, stop that.
Hey.
No, it really isn't you.
Dave. I'm going to pout for the rest of the entire show. I'm
We
going to
got-
hold my breath if you leave until I pass out.
Wow. Dampy, you're fine. You're so fine, Dampy. It's totally
Graveyard
okay.
had to do some editing for some other shows to get that done, so that's why he is not
I'm like,
here
wow,
now.
I feel like as if I'm being like I'm feeling like I'm becoming a zombie myself right now. So
Well, I think that is a perfect
Always
place.
remember, zombies love you for what's on the inside.
Oh my god.
hard. Also, wow, Sewong, why are we bringing World of Warcraft into this? What World of Warcraft give you?
The zombie apocalypse. What do you do? First off, walking out into my house, I feel like I'm already in the zombie apocalypse, especially as a teacher.
Wow.
You ever say hi to some of these kids in the morning? They just walk in. Hey, how you doing today?
That was me. That was me.
Hey, Van, we have teenagers. We know what that's like.
If you have teenagers, you will know the zombie apocalypse is already living in your house.
I feel like this subject won't go very long, but I mean, to answer the question of the topic,
Hey, you were the one that wanted to transition, Obi.
look, you make sure you make sure you got your loved ones, you arm up, you get yourself ready, you hunker down, you make sure the people you know and love are safe,
bit
and if not, you get folks together and you hold down the fort.
You go to your nearest Costco, and that becomes your headquarters.
Pretty
You can
much.
survive there for a long fucking time.
Yeah,
Matt
no
says
doubt.
I'm hiding in an ocean rig.
In
That's
an
right, 'cause
She
zombies
le-
don't swim.
She left.
No,
Yeah,
she
she-
said she'd be right back.
Right back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much I can say concerning zombie apocalypses. I mean, it should go without saying. What do you do? What do I do? What I do is, gather together. You get the people you love and trust. You arm up. You hunker down, and you do the best you can do, and really, really, really hope and pray hard that people with differences put those differences aside and fight like hell for the greater good, and that is the elimination of zombies, so that we can get back to being living people.
Right.
But
You hang-
First off-
unfortunately, The Last of Us is a thing,
Okay.
and The Walking Dead is a thing, and really, it just kind of shows that the real threat isn't the zombies. The real threat is the fact that regular people can just get away with doing stupid shit.
Right. I wanted to ask
I
you
think
guys.
the best way to survive a zombie apocalypse, at least in the short term, surround yourself by fat people and have a good pair
Wow.
and have a good pair of running shoes. Because you don't have to outrun the zombies. You just have to outrun the fat people.
And said in the movie Zombieland, cardio is the number one rule.
And if they survive,
Double tap.
they double his food if you can't find any.
Wow.
Going South Park on us now.
Hey, you know what? I'll be the first to admit if it's a real serious starvation situation and there is only one thing to eat and that happens to be man meat.
You know what side of the Donner Party David was on?
The surviving side.
Right.
Hey, the obesity problem in America would be solved real quick.
And for anybody who took offense at me talking about fat people that way, I just lost a bunch of weight. I was fat last year, so a couple years ago, actually.
So I actually have a theory.
Actually, that's a complete lie. I've never really been fat.
I have a theory
So
that
full of shit.
a lot of times in popular media, we are shown things, particularly things that we're shown over and over and over again, as a way for the government to normalize shit that's about to happen to us.
Fuck, it's fine.
So I, as crazy as it sounds, I don't see a zombie apocalypse being something that's completely out there. Like I would not be surprised if I turned on the news tonight and
Sorry,
heard
guys.
that there was gangs of zombies strolling through the streets. Do you think? I mean, do you think that we're ever going to get like that? Do you think like the governments are actually plotting ways to turn people into zombies?
God, I hope so.
Wow. Tell us how you really feel, David.
You know what? That would be like so awesome.
I don't know where my phone.
What would be
I was
awesome
trying to find
about
my phone.
zombies?
Well, you really get to put yourself to the test. You know, that's a total testosterone thing. It's like, people, how they say only people who've never been to war wish they could go.
Right.
So there's that. And then you also don't have to deal with all the other bullshit that this life chains you to.
Oh, yeah?
Well, I mean, you'll have certain types of responsibilities, but I mean, you wouldn't have to worry about rent anymore.
That's true.
That's
true.
true.
Or finding a good job.
Your job is called survival at that point. Yeah, to bring it back to Forza's point earlier,
You might still have to worry about traffic jams, but
when we watch a lot of these zombie apocalypse movies, it's the other humans that we have to worry about just as much as the zombies themselves. It's the fact that when all law and order breaks down and people feel free to do whatever it is that they want to do, they act certain ways. They attack other groups and other people. I think the scarier element is more the other people than it is the zombies, because at least the zombies' intention, right? You know what they're after, what they want. Bueller.
Again, this is why unification is very, very, very important, because together we are so freaking strong. And again, I don't mean to sound like freaking CBS Story Break here, but it's very, very simple. You come together, you put your differences and your bullshit aside, and you fight for the common good. And it's crazy just how unbelievably powerful good can be.
Yep.
Right.
Just saying.
I agree.
Why,
Right.
you could call it a zombie revolution.
So
tell that
where
to the
would
people
you
in Terminus.
Where would you guys go? There was an episode of I don't know, I think it was Film Theory, Matt Pat show, where he talks about the zombie apocalypse and where you
It
should
says
go.
in Ontario.
You
Canada's
saw
probably
that
the best
episode?
place.
Yeah, nice. What are your guys' thoughts? If you haven't seen the episode, I had personally thought moving to the desert would be the best place to go because you would dry those bastards out.
Good. I think it's probably. I think Matt Pat had it right. You go where there's not a lot of civilization. Be
Right.
a lot of civilization, but yeah, it's warm. I'd probably go to the Santa Cruz Mountains, actually.
Santa Cruz Mountains.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'd be afraid to go to the mountains because once you go up, you can't go back down.
Sure you can.
What about you, David? Where would you go in a zombie apocalypse?
Where wouldn't I go? Like I said, I think the first thing I do is just take down a Costco and just hold off for a while, let everybody else kind of waste each other off, and then stock up real good. And I think heading to the mountains is a fine idea. Get it up to a high enough elevation, those zombie, they're gonna freeze.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Freezing or that's why I said the desert, they would decompose faster.
Yeah.
Well, we saw how well that worked in The Walking Dead. Georgia is a very humid place. They didn't seem to decompose all that much faster.
Yes.
Matt says gonna loot for sabers.
Favorite, yes.
I am bringing my saber.
I have my mini saber.
I like this, by the way, a lot. Thank you
Is that
very
oh yeah?
much.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
it's
that was
awesome.
Forza's gift to you, right?
That was Forza's gift to me. Yep.
Beautiful. Well, thank you,
Oh, it
Forza.
looks beautiful.
That was from for those that don't know, if you are a member of our Patreon, if you are at the family or friend level, every year right before Star Wars Day, we give away 5 sabers. And that was one of the 5 sabers that we gave away. That was, in fact, that was created by a trans individual named Tegan. We did
That's
an
awesome.
interview
Cool.
with Tegan on the show. She won the TXQ had a general competition for design, and her design was the one that won, and that's the saber that you're holding
That's
as you
awesome.
speak. It is called
Awesome.
the Relic Hunter.
Relic
Very
Hunter.
enjoyed.
So yeah, so it's got a very interesting asymmetrical look to it. I like that. That one's really good for engraving too. Like if you ever wanted to get it engraved or something, it's a
It's
really
really
good
beautiful.
saber.
I mean, I don't know if sabers would be really great in a zombie apocalypse.
Unless they're real sabers.
Unless they're real, well, yeah, but we don't have real sabers. But,
I'll be
you know.
busting out with some katanas at that point.
Yeah, I was like, well, I mean, I would be busting out my ninja toe, so I'd be like Michonne. That's what I
all
would
the
feel like. I'd be Michonne.
get all your ninja skills together.
Get all my ninja skills together. Just no, more like just my sword skills.
How are you guys on your farming techniques? We gotta have a farmer in the group somewhere that knows about agriculture.
I was raised on a farm, so it's not too bad.
Hey,
I had a garden in my backyard for a little while.
okay.
We raised chickens, we had ducks, we even had a cow, we had horses, we had our own we had our own food that we raised. Mom, when I was very young, we had rabbits that was used for food. So
Groovy. So we could have our own Kyber Cave compound, and
And
everyone could
since
have
I'm
a different.
still decently insulated, I could last a little while.
a little.
A little while. Call that the extended fast.
Oh my god.
Oh, I gotta screw with y'all somehow.
I mean, I guess I'm well suited. I don't actually need to. I mean, at least at the moment, need to eat meat. So.
That's true. I guess it would be different for vegetarians, huh?
Well, definitely need to still, grow food. So.
Right, and then all our food would be organic.
You still need animals for agriculture and such. So.
Right.
Apparently,
Hey,
zombie apocalypse don't go with the animals. What, David?
Do you think you could actually cook out the zombie virus if you had to eat zombie meat?
No.
No.
Huh.
I don't know. That.
So are you saying like would you turn
gross.
into a zombie if you ate zombie meat?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. I've never seen that addressed on a zombie movie. What if we start eating the zombies?
They had that sort of for a very brief second in Walking Dead. There was
They did,
there was a guy who got bit, and the cannibals of Terminus cut off his leg and they ate it. Of course, they all got killed before anything could have happened. So we don't know if they would have turned or not.
Huh.
That would have created some controversy in the fan base, now wouldn't
it? All right, man, I totally feel like
I bet it tastes like bacon.
Oh my god,
David.
What?
I'm
not zombie meat. I'm talking about regular human meat.
Oh,
not better. Not better.
That's so much better.
We definitely know what side of the Donner Party David would be on.
Yeah, the surviving side.
Did you say the Donner Party or the Dahmer Party?
Hey, there's actually a place over in the Sierras called the Donner Party Picnic Area.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. There is a
Or by
rest
the Donner
stop
Pass. Mm-hmm.
over on Donner Pass.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've never actually stopped there. Though.
Hell of a name for a picnic area. I'm serious.
Yep.
Donner
I've
party
seen
of
the sign,
20,
but
I
I've
mean
never.
10. Or Donner party of 40, I mean 20.
Wow.
I've actually been at the rest stop a few times. Quite a few
They have a
times.
restaurant there too. Oh my
Not that
god.
I've seen.
Donner party
Not that
restaurant?
I know. Not
Oh,
that
I
I
Oh, I
thought
know.
I
gotta
thought
go.
you just said something about a restaurant, Aubrey.
No, he's making jokes about the restaurant.
No, I'm talking about the picnic area.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah.
Okay, that's weird. All right, that guy
No.
over there. What the fuck? That guy over there.
It's the opposite way that you want to point.
Oh,
Unless it's up or down. And now that we're all pointing fingers,
right. I feel like Aaron was correct in saying that this one was gonna run short.
Aaron, who's Aaron?
Fours.
What would you do? You go and
He's
get.
four.
You
He's
know,
not Aaron.
fours. So the four. So okay. So but what would be your game plan? Get your family and
After crying like a little bitch, yeah,
You want-
get your family together and I guess head for remoteness.
that's what you would do. Fours.
I mean, what was the first thing I said? Oh yeah, no, it was unified. Like find like-minded folks who can, survive and fight back, and people you can trust, and kind of the community thing, the unity thing, the community thing, because you can't have community without unity. So
Correct.
yeah,
I actually had a friend who near the Trump administration, when things were a little haywire in this country, there was a lot of protests and stuff, but I actually had a friend who was serious about, like, he was like, hey man, he called me up, and this guy I hadn't talked to in like 10 years, dude. He was like, hey man, if shit goes down, we're all meeting at my grandma's place and we're turning it into a compound. And I was like,
oh my god.
I mean, he
Actually-
was prepared, dude.
Actually, me and one of my buddies actually do have a when the shit hits the fan plan.
Really?
Yeah, we do.
Do you have like a bunker somewhere in the woods?
No, his house is located right next to a reservoir, which is down the street from a Costco, and we also have access to 4-wheel drive vehicles, and he has a cabin up in the mountains.
Oh. So you actually have a real game plan.
Yep, and there is a plethora of high-powered firearms to be had as well. So for people who are, no high capacity magazines, you're not going to be too happy about not having one of those around, will you?
Right, when the zombie apocalypse comes. Thomas says, is anyone opposed to getting a school bus and running zombies over?
The what?
Thomas says, is anyone opposed to getting a school bus and running zombies over?
No.
It'll be hard to drive the school. It'll be hard to drive the school bus around with all the vehicles that'll be busted down everywhere from people just abandoning them and running.
Right.
The school bus won't be very effective. Better off getting a motorcycle, at least to get it until you get out of an urban area.
Right. I was going to ask you about that. What you thought about motorcycles? Maybe this is something, this is completely off topic, but I've been thinking a lot about buses lately. Mr. Fours and I had a bit of a conversation the other day about life changes that I am possibly looking to make for myself.
Are we officially changing topics here?
Yeah, I think so. I feel like we're kind of dead, dude. I feel like I'm pushing a dead horse right now.
All right, well,
The zombie apocalypse
The zombie
is a
horse.
dead topic.
Then take the stage.
Definitely a dead topic. Oh.
So I I just hit my 50th birthday.
Woohoo!
For those that-
Happy birthday, Van.
Thank
fart.
you. Yeah, it is. Thank you. And I've really been thinking about kind of like life changes right now for the last 3 or 4 months, Steven and I have been doing more conventions than we usually did, and we've been absolutely killing it, which leads me to believe that I need to be at more conventions, because being at these
Yes.
conventions has led to more people coming into the store as well.
Mhm.
So I have been searching. Well, for the last 8 months, I have been looking online, researching the perfect kind of dog. If I were to get a dog, what kind of dog I would get.
Okay.
And then for the last 2 to 3 months, I have been searching for not necessarily big vans, but like they're called Transit. It's a Ford Transit. So it looks almost like a pickup truck with an extended cargo bay kind of an area.
Mhm.
And the idea is to start traveling the country, get myself a dog, get myself a friend, and start hitting the country and going to different cities. I was telling Forrest, like I would love to come out to where he's at, go to a couple of the bigger cons. I can hire Forrest and his son, or whoever friends they have, to help me work
Mhm.
the con for a few days. But
Okay.
then after the con is done, I can hang out there for, a few days or a week or so until the next con comes up, and just kind of leisurely travel the country. But when we were at
Oh.
SAC Anime, we had this gentleman who had a booth kind of across from ours, and he saw how much business and how much, how packed our table was the whole time. So he bought like 12 sabers from us in order to sell them to kind of get a gauge on how well he could sell them. And he was telling me that as a vendor, he was like, and I go from city to city, but he says he makes $1 million plus a year doing
Wow.
conventions.
That's crazy.
What would
How
you
much?
guys think about like a life that, like a nomadic life like that? Now, of course, I'd have my home here. My son would be here. His mother would help take care of him here. I have my own house. I would still go out and have to pop back in every month or two to get more supplies. That
Right.
Steven, we would still have a storefront. Steven would still run the storefront, and he would order supplies that I needed so that I could come in, load up the truck, and hit to the next con.
And it sounds like a good plan.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, you're
Forrest is
gonna
drinking the
board
blue.
that traveling van? Oh,
Sorry
So
guys, I'm still feeling a bit blur.
yeah, I'm
But I
sorry.
think it's a good idea. No, I'm good. I'm just probably gonna have to. I'm gonna probably bounce a little early. I'm really just not feeling well.
Cam, I totally agree with you. You guys should come to Gem State.
Yes.
Yeah, I would love to go out to some of these events that Distance Nerdy
Where's
goes out to.
Gem State?
Gem State is the Idaho con, I believe.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. They do one here too.
Yeah, I thought they did.
But
Potato
yeah,
con?
which one?
I said potato con.
Sorry.
PotoCon.
I don't know which one that they do here in the Bay too. Think New, one vendor who I would follow, he goes from con to con. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about getting a Sprinter truck, and like it would just seem like, it's such a nomadic, different way of life. And even Aaron was talking about, like, aren't you worried about your 9 to 5? We did an event, not this last one. This last one absolutely blew me away. The event that we did before that, and I sat down and I calculated, and I was like, man, we made in 3.5 hours what would take me 130 hours to make at my regular
You're sore.
day job as a teacher. As a teacher,
Oh, that's
I'd
even
have to work
crazy.
130 hours on the floor to
Mhm.
make what we made in 3.5 hours at the event. So that was kind of the catalyst that got me thinking, like that, I'm, as I'm getting older, I'm having trouble like keeping up with certain things. Like I got written up at work. It's been a long time since I've had a job where I've gotten
no.
written up. I got written, you know what? Again, it's things that I'm realizing I need to change or figure out. But like, I have
What's you written
sleeping
up for?
issues. I was
Oh.
passing out in class and didn't know I was
Oh,
passing out.
whoa. That's
Like it'd be one of
crazy.
those things where you kind of like, and then you like wake yourself like back up. But I didn't realize I was doing that, a couple of times a day in class or what have you.
Wow. I've done that a
Yeah.
lot at work. Yeah. I get it. It's not
Well,
an age thing.
when you're working at a retail store or something, that's one thing. But when you're working with special needs kids who can become violent, you need to be alert
Oh, yes, absolutely.
at all times. So I'm just kind of, thinking like, maybe I'm getting to the point in life where I need to find a different type of job, something that's a little more slow paced. But
Mhm.
how cool would it be that, there's a convention, in Indiana out by Graveyard coming up in 6 or 7 days, and I can just easily mosey my way out there, maybe find some, swap meets on the way or smaller cons that are, that direction, hit one or two, and just kind of slowly make my way out there, get to see this country, get to see, different touristy places that I've never been to. Who wants to go?
That'd be
Well, it's like
fun. Honestly, it sounds like it'd be
Yep.
fun.
It's like I told you, bro. If you make your way over here, you've always got a place. You've always got a little family here you can chill with, and if you need help at MegaCon or whatever con you end up, the boy and I'll go. You know,
Woohoo!
the boy. You don't know this, but the boy is wanting to get involved with like Kyber, like everything Kyber Cave, especially now that he's going to be 18 soon. He loves
Woohoo.
the channel. He loves the product. He loves you.
Tell him he needs to grow a beard first, and then we'll talk about it.
I mean, he's already wanting to get
Oh,
involved.
Cam, you are really on it.
He really wants to get involved in like editing projects and helping
Cool.
out with KCP and all this other stuff.
Wow.
So yeah, dude. I mean, he's like chomping at the bit here because
Very interestingly, I kind of look, I look at our group, and then I always try to find balance and diversity when I can. And I was recently talking about a month ago to one of my students at school who's really into VR gaming. And I
Mhm.
was like, hey, if you want to, do a show on our channel, I would love to have the whole new, like the Young Avengers.
Ah, funny.
The whole squad of our next line, so that when we become too old and decrepit to do this crap online, we've got the next wave coming in right behind us to help support
Cool.
our geriatric asses.
Guys, I'm sorry. I'm not of any use. I'm gonna go.
all right. Well,
Oh.
we're like what
Bye.
15 till the end of the show anyway.
Yeah, we're not
so-
very far. Anyways,
Yeah, but I
we
tried
love
to
you,
be here.
Aubrey. Take care of
Alright.
yourself.
Love you, David. Thank you for being back here. I'm sorry.
Okay,
about
here we
the
go.
issue with you.
He's
Let me
holding his breath
let me
now.
know if he dies.
Okay. Bye, honey.
Cam says I've recently become a big part of Colossal Girl Entertainment. Cam, we need to talk then, because I think this is going to be my new life direction. I told Goal, I don't necessarily want to talk our bank accounts right now, but I will tell you this: the pandemic fucked us up at Kyber Cave. We barely survived, and really, to be honest with you, the only reason Kyber Cave survived was because I had a regular 9 to 5 that I could support, out of my own paychecks to pay some of Kyber Cave's bills when Kyber Cave wasn't bringing in business. So I'm finally getting to the point where we're building up cash now, and I'm looking at these minivans, and I really feel like I told Steven that my goal was by the end of summer, I want to raise another $30,000 in the next 3 months. At that point, I will be able to hire a bookkeeper. We'll be able to move out of our shop. Hopefully, I can sell these machines that I have. If I sell the machines, that's another $20,000 to $30,000. Hire some bookkeepers, get a new shop, a small shop in downtown Fairfield, buy myself a van and a puppy, and hit the road.
Just make sure it would help you if you had something big enough that you could have sleeping quarters in it if you were going to be traveling around.
Yeah.
Rather than just like a minivan or something like that. Get like a panel truck and put bunk beds in it.
Yeah, I was looking at the panel vans, like the big like the pedophile vans with no windows and stuff like that, the big, sliding doors on the side or whatever. That's a little bit longer than I wanted to. So I've been looking at, it's called the Ford Transport, but it almost looks like a longer, it's not quite as long as a van, but it's longer than a pickup truck. but it has the sides that are more more cargo bay. It's got the 2 sliding doors. The only concern that I had about it is I heard that the engine sucked, that you can only carry like 1,600 pounds, and that you don't get a lot of like a transit van. Exactly. I was even looking at like converting out like a postal truck or something like that. Yes, it'll be van life. But yeah, I had thought about, because I would only need one or one other person. I had thought about converting it, with the first half being in the back a chair bench that folded into a bed, and putting in like a little mini sink and toaster oven and stuff like that. It wouldn't be the full van life experience, but then the idea would be, renting a room every 2 nights on the road instead of every night on the road. But yeah, I am all about that. Just don't live in a van down by the river. Oh, Chris.
My God.
All right, yeah, I'll take Say Wong with me, dude. We'll hit all the cons.
Driving shifts, you can make a lot of distance real quick that way.
That's very true.
Yeah, and then when my son is old enough that I can bring a third person. But yeah, that was the idea, is to drive in shifts, have a second person, because I'm getting older as well, and be able to just kind of meander out. I had thought if I was getting a new dog, I'd have to stop every couple of hours, especially if it was a younger puppy. I'd have to stop every couple of hours to let him use the bathroom, and but yeah, I really want to kind of, instead of like trying to speed into con and race into things, if it takes me 5 days to get there, plan for a 7-day trip and just meander out there.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty good idea.
Well, thank you. If you're ready, I'll take you on the road for us.
I don't know. You may have to fight a couple people for it, or maybe not. You may not have to. It really just depends on where things are.
Hey, I mean, I can, we can look at the schedule and see what kind of cons you have down there in Florida, but we can also look up in, the states right around you as well, and see if there's other cons that are near that time period. Then I can load you and your son into the van, and we could go up and work those cons as well. Then you guys make a little bit of money and get to go see a different con.
That's very
yes,
true.
we do
But a
need
lot of
East
these
Coast partnership.
Yeah.
And we have that was another thing I was thinking about. We have right now 2 locations. One is in Nevada. Actually, we have 2 in Nevada, but one hasn't bought product in a long time. Another one's here in California, but we actually have 2 stores that sell Kyber Cave merchandise. So as I'm going across the country, I can find smaller toy stores and sell them sabers as well, and have more distribution points across the country. RTX is coming up in Austin.
If you keep me on the center stage here, I'm going to start picking my nose.
Sorry. It's just habitual. All right, y'all. So I think that is, I think I've kind of made my life decision. My son is 14 right now, and this conversation came up because I had been kind of thinking about the idea. The idea first started came up when I talked to V Ripper of Ripper Blades, and that was essentially what they were doing. They bought a big van, and they're like, yeah, we're just going to trip the country the next couple of years and just hit bigger cons, dip back in every couple of months to the house, get new supplies, rest for a while. That's the other thing that I was thinking about too. If I wanted to go easier, if money wasn't a concern, I could literally do 2 or 3 big cons a year and totally replace the income that I have as a teacher and just work 1 month out of the year. I mean, that's a whole different lifestyle too, if that's what you want to do, Matt, you ready to road trip? I'll take you out on the road with me. I need a road dog. Must be 420 friendly.
Look at the name. Look at the name. Look at the name.
Road dog. Were you gonna run out the rest of the time, or we gonna call this early? Because I'm gonna
Yeah,
I think I need to think. I think I need to do my pluggable and bounce out because there are a couple things I need to. I am working on some KCP stuff as well.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we are going to kind of end this out a little bit early tonight. Yeah, the dab life. Let's go. All right. Yeah, let's go ahead and then start with our outros. We're just going to drop out a couple minutes early tonight. David, since we haven't seen you in so long, you get to be the first. We miss you,
Hi,
brother.
bye.
Well,
I'm David. I'm here occasionally. I tend to piss people off. I make rude comments and dirty potty humor and stuff like that. So
and that's why we love you. All right, Mr. Fours.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, as usual, I want to encourage all of you to go to kybercave.com. Get yourself a saber for the 12th time, the first time. It doesn't matter what time. Just go over there, log on, get yourself a great lightsaber, take it out there, enjoy it with yourself, your family. It's a great, great, great thing to have in life. And when you do that, head over to saberfont.com. You can get a sound font from myself, Forz FX Saber Sound Designs, or any of my friends, Juan Sith or Harry Solo Fonts, respectively. Hell, anybody over there, just head over to Saberfont. Pick up one of the very many of the hundreds of sound fonts over there. Put it on your saber. Put it on there. Just enjoy it and have a great time. You can find me over at our sister channel, which is Distance Nerding, on Thursdays with Graveyard, the Husbeer, doing the build and brackets on there. And if I'm not there, I'm typically over here at Kyber Cave Productions about 3-4 times a week. We're doing recordings. We're on the Retro Alcove. I host Thursday night live gaming. I'm here on After Dark. I'm on the Saturday morning Nerd Out occasionally, but there's always something happening here at Kyber Cave. So again, we encourage you to be here. Stay tuned. May the fours be with you, and we will see you on whatever next production we have right here at Kyber Cave.
Ow! May the foes be with you always. All right, y'all. I am Ark in the Dark from Kyber Cave. We have lots of stuff. There are so many ways. We have a Patreon page for as little as $1 a month. You can help out this channel. We do shows 7 days a week. If it's not me, I do 3 shows. Fours does like 4 shows. Multiple. Many of us have multiple shows that we do on here. So 7 days a week, every day, you can always find some fun and interesting content here at Kyber Cave, and always somebody to hang out with. Matt says I'm 19 officially. Say Wong says you can see me every week yelling at Van for his attendance issues. Make sure to check out. We have a brand new. Not only do we have kybercave.com, where you can get lots of fun sabers and other merchandise like saber socks and saber earrings and saber necklaces. We have a brand new website, kcpmerch.com. And that is for merchandise specifically related to Kyber Cave Productions. Because remember, it's kind of a weird entity. There's Kyber Cave, and then there's Kyber Cave Productions. And they work together, but they are separate entities. So if you want a cool Kyber Cave Productions backpack, coffee cup, t-shirt, I know I ordered my stuff. I'm just waiting for it to come in the mail now. Coffee mug, you can definitely do so at kcp.com. Don't forget about our Patreon, our Discord. You can join our Discord and talk to lots of us. There's polls there happening for the different shows. And aside that, we will see you tomorrow morning on the Saturday morning Nerd Out. I'm digging that. It looks badass. All right, my friends. Take care, and we'll see you later. Peace.